Greetings, Team Hearth League and competitive Hearthstone fans. Today is a very special edition of Thursday Throwdown, it being only Tuesday, but that's because we are in Team Hearth League Ragnaros League Finals week this week, and tonight we are bringing you the very first match on this very special Tuesday edition of Thursday Throwdown. My name is Cinder, and I'm going to be bringing you this match alongside my current co-caster, Andy Rogers. Andy, what's up, man?
Oh man, I am super excited for another finals. But this time, it's the finals that I like. It's Ragnaros League finals. Last time I did the last hero standing, which I detest that mode of play so much. But now we're in Conquest, which is so much better.
Yeah, we're gonna have the three seeds today battling it out. The finals for Ragnaros League are between Team Synergy and the Spicy Boys. Now, Synergy is a storied team in THL. Spicy Boys a little bit new, but Spicy Boys has a very impressive record coming into these finals. They are 7-3 as a team versus the league. Synergy just 5-5, but they've managed to fight their way through. Andy, I'd like you to set up this match between these two players, Crovan from Synergy and Ridiculous from Spicy Boys. What are we looking forward to with this match?
Crovan, he's been in the league a couple seasons. He's had a really good season. 7-4 is that's nothing to shrug at. That's a really good season. He brings the points. And this Synergy team that he plays for, they were kind of off the radar. They were trumped by Thermic Whims in that red
Yep.
division that everybody thought was almost a lock for the finals. Synergy comes in, they upset them, and they're the team who have a chance to play for the title. So Crovan is a big part. On the other side, Ridiculous, he's 5-0, and
It's
he's riding a
impressive.
hot streak here. Yeah, and Spicy Boys, I think overall that purple division kind of no one really talked about them too much. Like I think that just as a division as a whole, they didn't have any kind. I mean, Spicy Boys were the best team out of that division, but they weren't as sexy, I think, as like Thermic Whims, and their division wasn't as competitive as say Blue or Red or. But they come in here to the finals and they're ready to show everybody that they can win. So Ridiculous, if he can keep this hot streak going, that's huge for Spicy Boys to get those first points in these finals. It's such a big momentum boost for your team if you could come out. It just takes off the pressure off of the rest of the team to not have to feel like, oh, I have to win my game, in order for us to win.
Sure. Yeah, and 5-0, being undefeated in Team Hearth League is no easy feat. Conquest leaves a lot of room for parity, especially with the player ranking system leveling things out. So being a three seed, which is a volatile seed for a lot of teams, and being undefeated is really something. And his lineup is, I would say, orthodox for the current meta. He will be taking tonight Mage, Paladin, Priest, and Warlock. On the other side, Crovan has something a little more unusual. Druid in the first deck,
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, followed by the anchors at Priest and Warlock. So, Andy, what's up with this Druid Hunter take? What do you think Crovan's trying to do?
Um, yeah, the hunter is probably the most surprising. We've seen some people come at us with the druids, but that hunter pick, I wonder if it's going to be that Yasiraj Barnes hunter, which, you know, it's not my favorite deck. I think that if, like a lot of Barnes decks, if you don't draw Barnes, you can be up the paddle or up the creek without a paddle, but it can get wins. If you play your secrets, it could also be a potential secrets hunter. Some people have been playing that sort of secret keeper with
Yeah.
the 3/4 that plays all your secrets for zero. So that's also a possibility. Maybe it's trying to counter a mage, maybe it's trying to counter a paladin. The druid, um, he might be, trying to get his last remnants of playing Jade Druid out.
Maybe
Although
so.
a lot of times in Team Hearth League, people don't play Jade Druid just because it can be countered so easily by one card. So I wonder if it's going to be the Spiteful Summoner Druid.
Yeah, it could, and there are a lot of avenues for Druid to go, even just within the frame of the Spiteful Druid. I've seen some Elemental packages. I've seen a Cthulhu package rolling around. Some more traditional, just Keleseth and big minions, and lots of value on the board. So there's a lot of ways to go, but I don't think aggro Druid really has a place anymore. Warlock, and now with Control Priests, really starting to take hold in the meta. Like it seems like those wide boards of small bodies are really getting hard countered with the priest and warlock being so prevalent.
Yeah, the only one of those types of decks that was really functioning well was the Dude Paladin, and the only real reason was because it could reload so quickly
Sure.
with things like Divine Favor, the Call from Darkness or Into the Darkness. What's
Uh,
the one? The
stand
five
against darkness.
Stand Against
There you go.
Darkness, where you get 5 minions on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Next turn, you drop Skykeeper Tarim, and now you have a whole giant board of 3/3s. But yeah, so we haven't really seen a lot of aggro druid too much. I wonder though how it does against something like Secrets Mage. It could be a potentially good. I know that Secrets Mage doesn't do very well against wide boards,
Sure.
especially if you spread out early. So it could be some type of way that he could get in there. But I'm guessing that yeah, we'll probably see that Spiteful Druid.
Yep. And while we wait for the bands, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the matchup that's going to be coming up. We have lined up every single match from these finals. All 5 players from both teams will play on stream. Tonight is the first. We're going to have 2 more on Saturday and 2 more on Sunday. So, very special weekend streams. Stay tuned to this channel right here and also just go to the website, teamhearthleague.com, where we have all the stats and information you need to catch up with this series. But for Zenergy and Spicy Boys, Zenergy going from the 1 seed to the 5, we have in position JR Juggernaut, Crovan, Boom Boom Hall, and Dexter. For the Spicy Boys, it's Wolfmac, Ironfire, who we saw on stream just last week, Ridiculous, Mullet, and Cakes. And I want to talk a little bit about the PR builds here, Andy, because the Zenergy is extremely top heavy. Crovan
Mm.
is 460 PR with a cap of 500. In position and JR Juggernaut, both at the cap of 500. Spicy Boys, on the other hand, though, mostly low 400s all the way down to the 4 seed. So we see this 4 seed of Boom Boom Hall versus Mullet. Boom Boom Hall at 285, Mullet at 404. That's a huge PR discrepancy. How do you think that these PR discrepancies are going to play out in this series?
I think you have him switch with Spicy
Oh, did
Boys.
I? My bad.
Spicy Boys at 500, yeah. Wolfmac and Ironfire on Spicy Boys at 500. And Ridiculous at
Oh,
460.
yeah,
And
you're right.
then Synergy is kind of like 4 players all around 400. Yeah, Synergy, I know that they've kind of switched up. I know that JR was in the 1 seed, had some unfortunate luck, and didn't have a very good record. He dropped down. In position, come back up. I know JR has won some games recently, so he's come back up. I know Boom Boom was up in the 2 at one point, I think, and then he was at the 3, so now he's down into the 4. It's a lot of parity. Those top heavy teams, you expect that, the 500s in Wolfmac and Ironfire to get their wins over in position in JR. But you look for his energy to pick up those bottom points. I think the key matchups are probably that 5 seed matchup, Cakes and Dexter.
Mm.
Who can get the win out of that one? Boom Boom, he should be able to pick up the win over Mullets. And then this matchup especially is really big with Crovan and Ridiculous. So yeah, Synergy needs those lower seeds to win. Spicy Boys needs to just take at least, needs their upper seeds to win and, hope that they can sneak out a couple of wins in the lower seeds. But
Yep.
it's really, it's just, I think it's how the team sort of, how do you build your team? Do you build at the top? In the past, I know when I won with Harry Generals, we were a super top heavy team.
Mhm.
And you had a player like me who's at 500 PR playing in the 3 seed,
Wow.
and it was such an advantage. For me, it's like, oh, okay, that was such an unfair advantage for me to be playing in that seed. But that's just how we had lined up the team. The one thing is that that Spicy Boys, yeah, they have a 460 in the 3 seed, which is pretty crazy. So
Yeah, and we're still early in the week, and we're don't even have many classes submitted yet. But besides Crovan and Ridiculous, JR Juggernaut and Ironfire have both submitted. Ironfire is going to be coming in with the same lineup as his teammate Ridiculous, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Warlock. JR Juggernaut also coming in with the Druid as Crovan is Druid, Mage, Priest, Warlock. So these final situations, both of these teams have studied each other intensely, almost certainly, and there's a lot of prep work that's gone into this. So with two players already having shown Druid, do we think that there's a Druid strategy starting to develop for Zenergy?
you wonder if teams tend to they like to kind of bounce ideas off of each other. You wonder if they have somebody's come up with a hot druid deck that they really like, and if we're going to see the same type. Like, I wonder if we see from Crovan the spiteful druid, are we going to see the same type of one from JR? A lot of times that's what you see in between teams, especially when you get those sort of outside the normal picks. It's a teammate saying like, "Oh, check out, this is my druid deck that's been really successful." They copy it and they start having the same success with that. So I wonder if we see the spiteful tonight from Croban, if we're gonna see the same one from JR when he plays, I think on Saturday.
Yeah, we have definitely seen some unusual druid builds, even as far as like Malygos Jungle Giants builds are on stream. So it's anything goes. But I feel like as the finals approach, more conventional builds tend to take over, and players are going to start hedging against those riskier strategies. But we're still awaiting the players, everyone. They're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so bear with us. We're going to start this match as soon as we possibly can. Will is working hard in the background to get this set up. But let's see if we can dig in a little deeper into the statistics for both of these teams. Spicy Boys with this very top heavy team, two players at the top at 500 each, and then we have in the middle Ridiculous at 460, who must have climbed quite a bit in the PR bracket, because 460 was not where he started at a 5-0. Wolfmac coming in at the 1 seed, 7-4 in matches, 24-18 in game wins. That's a very solid 60%, 65% win rate for the 1 seed. Ironfire at the 2 seed, sitting at 7-3 in matches. Very good record, and 21-18 in games. So a lot of close series, but Ironfire tends to squeeze these out. So you can see these positive win rates leading to these 500 rated players all at the top of Spicy Boys. Zenergy, on the other hand, Andy, do you have the stats in front of you for Zenergy? How do their wins and losses look like this season?
It's kind of hard to say. So in position in the seed, he's 6-5, 24-24. I know, but he hasn't been there the entire time.
Mm,
So part of that is, playing down into the lower seeds. 24-24 in game wins and game losses. So he's had a good season, but he hasn't been that 1 seed the whole time. So we'll see how he responds to it. I mean, you would expect a player like Wolfmac, who's had been the consistent 1 seed, to have the advantage in that type of lineup. But Hearthstone's a game that anybody can win. And the second seed, JR, he is 4-7. So it's kind of a funny thing. I wonder if he'll want me to tell the story, but we played earlier in the season. We played, and I ended up taking the win 3-1. And after the game, he was like so distraught because he'd lost 5 in a row, and he was like, "Oh, fuck this game! I hate this." It's like, like, why can I not get the luck, what's happening? And I was kind of like being, his Dr. Phil,
Yeah.
consoling him, like, don't worry, it happens. You lose games, and it's funny because one of my teammates was going through the same thing. And I was like, you'll get the win. You just have to keep playing your decks, keep playing well. Even though you're losing, your PR is going down. It's never fun to be on a losing streak. You'll turn it around. If you're a good player, the cards will come and you'll turn it around. So yeah, from that point, he's gone 3-2 because he was 1-5 at that point. So he's 3-2.
Oh,
So he had a positive win rate since then. And
yeah.
he actually his game wins, 22-22. So he's won 22 games. He's lost 22 games. So he's gotten points, and he hasn't. Even though his record's 4-7, he still has won games. So it's always really important.
Yeah, it's all about points. Wins and losses, and as far as the matches go, are a good baseline stat to get a feel for things. But that games won is a really important number because for every point that these players, or excuse me, every game that these players win, they get a point. So even if they lose the series 2-3, 2 points for the week for the team's cumulative score is still very very good. So yeah, even in with a mediocre win rate in matches, getting 22 wins under his belt, definitely good contributions from him. But
Yeah, especially even when you're not winning games, you want to be giving points,
yeah,
So even if you lose 3-2, you can say, like, well, I still got us 2 points, or 3-1. You never want to lose that 3-0. Like that's kind of when you're like, oh, geez, I might as well not have submitted classes.
right. And let's take a glimpse now at the 4 and 5 seeds as well. Um, on Spicy Boys, Mullet and Cakes. Mullet at the 4 seed seems to be the discrepancy in Spicy Boys. Mullet only scoring 4-7, but again 23-24 in games, so close matches, just usually losing that fifth game. But check out Cakes in the 5 seed. This is impressive. Cakes at 8-3, 73% win rate in matches, 28-13 in games, 68% win rate. He is one of the most consistent players in the Ragnaros league. There are only a couple of players with a better win rate than him, and at least one of those doesn't have that many games played, and the other one that has a lot of games played is Ridiculous, who has a 15-4 record. So these two, the 5 and the 3 seed for Spicy Boys, very very strong positions.
And that's huge. I mean, that's why they're here at the top, like 8-3 in that 5 seed. That's massive.
Yeah.
And 28 wins. That's so many points. Like that's especially it's leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else in the 5 seed. So not only are they winning at the top, they're also winning at the bottom seeds, and that's massive. That's what makes you into the finals. You need contribution from everyone, not just the 1 seeds, not just the other ones.
Yeah, and well, it looks like the bands are about to roll in, so let's just give a little equal coverage. Boom Boom Hall and Dexter, the 4 and 5 seeds for Zenergy. Boom Boom Hall, great season as well, 7-4 in matches, 22-19 in games, and Dexter 4-7 in match and 18-22 in games. And funnily enough, I think that's a 45% win rate is the worst out of these 10 players, which is really saying something for the quality of these two teams. This whole final series is really going to be something to watch.
Yeah, JR I think at 36% would be the
Oh,
lowest,
my
but
bad. Yeah, so one other, but yeah, that's it's an outlier.
still really good.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Oh my
still really
goodness. I
good.
think Will is telling me that they're in the match right now. So let's go ahead and see if I can jump into the spectator client. We're going to start with Ridiculous. Ridiculous needs to invite me to watch his match.
Don't even think he's accepted me yet.
Yeah, Ridiculous. I can say from my experiences, this guy has one of the tightest schedules of any player in THL. He is constantly burning the midnight oil with work and life and everything else. And the fact that he still gets his games in and has a nearly flawless record, whew, that's really saying something.
Yeah, so we do see that Crovan is playing the Spiteful Summoner. Um, that will be his druid of choice. And he has a pretty nice little curve. We do see the Serenite Chain Gang, so it's I wonder, I'm guessing this is probably the version that plays Prince Kaliseth.
Yeah, go ahead and and narrate this for the audience, Andy, because I'm still waiting for Ridiculous to invite me to spectate. So this is
Oh,
you're going to be calling
sure
this one for a
thing.
minute.
All right, so right now, Ridiculous has not played any cards. He does drop his first card, which is Ball Talon. So we don't know yet. We haven't seen any spells, so we're not sure what type of priest this is. On the other side, Crovan is going to be able to ramp up. We do see the Blaze Caller, so he is playing the elemental version of the Spiteful Druid. All right, Twilight Drake. Still don't know. It could be Inner Fire combo. It could be Spiteful Priest.
I tend
But
to
here we
associate
will drop the
the
first.
the Twilight Drake does tend to go with the combo priest, but yeah, it could be either one.
I mean, yeah, the dragon. It could also be like a dragon control priest, and the 12 Deathwing Dragon Lord will be the pickup for Crovan off of the Spiteful. So that's pretty darn good. We can't see Ridiculous's card, so we don't know if he has an easy way to deal with it. I guess he's debating right now whether or not he wants to trade into the Talon Priest,
Hmm.
or does he just go face?
All right, so I think what I'm going to do for the audience is I'm going to go ahead and start spectating Crovan, and just ask the audience to bear with me while I flip all the match information. We had planned to have Ridiculous on the player's perspective, but we're going to go ahead and switch that to have Crovan on the other side. So you're seeing Ridiculous's name on the bottom, but Crovan is playing from the bottom perspective. So Andy, take it away.
We do see the double trade from Ridiculous. And we are going to see what card he plays. All right, so he is going to be able to Twilight Acolyte, so he will have a 12/4 now on the board. We still don't know what this deck is. We haven't seen a spell yet, and because we haven't seen a spell, I imagine that this is the Spiteful Priest. So on the other side now, a big 2/12, but he will be able. Well, will he use silence? I don't know if I agree with that silence. I would rather have a 12/12 than to have my opponent have a because you could trade the 4/4 into it and then silence it and then you can play that. So yeah, here it is, the Spiteful Summoner. So Ridiculous side is playing the Spiteful. Let's see what he gets off of the Free from Amber.
Ooh, Alec here. Very
Ooh,
nice.
Alec here, the Windlord wins. Oh man, my coming. So we will be able to kill everything except for this Deathwing Dragon Lord. And I think maybe Crovan played a little bit fast because, I mean, wouldn't you want if you silence that Deathwing Dragon Lord, it's a 12/12.
Yeah, you'd think so. All right, we do have the
Blaze
client
Caller's coming down.
fixed, so we can at least see Crovan properly now. So let's go ahead and catch up with the action. Yeah, look at this. This board state from Crovan is just unbelievably powerful. Glacial Shard going to put a stop to that 2/1 from creating any value trades.
And especially in this position that, now as Crovan, you know that you're playing against the Spiteful Priest. You want to go as wide as possible. That's the one thing that Spiteful Priest does not do very well, is it doesn't deal with a wide board, especially a wide board with big minions.
Yeah, and now both players are on the on basically full health, and Ridiculous has a full grip, so he's probably got a number of tools to work with. But this is an intimidating board. Just even 10 damage basically puts you on a 3-turn clock without affecting the board in any way. Operative comes down and offers a card. Historian going to give Ridiculous another option.
One turn away from silent infestation. So yeah, Blaze Caller, the second Blaze Caller is coming in. Gonna go for the trade. So you go, yeah, you trade your face. And then you just, yeah, go full face the whole way.
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to just go ahead and get aggressive with Crovan coming up on 10 mana for that ultimate infestation. He'll get an instant hand refill and another body for the board. This is a huge board
Yeah,
already
pretty
for Crovan.
ridiculous hand. This is the problem with the Spiteful Priest is, you know, how do you come back from this? You know, you don't really have good ways. You could, you know, there's a possibility of like double Dustbreaker. So I wonder if he has it's going to do double Dustbreaker. It is going to allow him. But this ultimate infestation is going to be pretty darn good.
Yep, and that was the last one, too, for Ridiculous, unless he gets another one off of another Spite Historian. So no more board clears available. Anything that Crovan manages to stick will probably stick. What do you think about the Archivist here, Andy? I'm not so sure about that.
I wonder, you know, because it will pull. I guess it's a minion, but it can't hit itself.
That's right. It's just going to play the other infestation.
It plays ultimate infestation. Yeah, it draws the other one. The only thing is that, so he gets the perfect outcome that he hits the target, and there shouldn't be any other spells. So now it's just a 4/7. So in this case, he does kind of roll the dice a little bit because the Archivist can hit itself, and the Archivist can also hit you in the face, and it can also hit the other opponent in the face. So I guess 50-50 for good and bad outcomes. But yeah, now it's really paying off. 4/7, 5/5 on the board. It's he's definitely in the driver's seat. The second the second Spiteful Summoner for Crovan's not really gonna have much of a use. We will see the Mind Control from Ridiculous.
Yeah, this is, depending on what spells Ridiculous has in his hand and what is still remaining in his deck, this could be a pretty big swing.
So, Free From Amber coming down.
Oh, the Obsidian Statue coming out of the Free From Amber. That's a great roll, but Crovan's got quite a lot of power in hand. So I expect that Spellbreaker to do some damage here.
He does. I wonder, you can't really take out much from the board. You probably, I guess you just go wide in this situation. Or see the chain gang.
Yeah, he's just gonna protect this this board parity with some taunts and hopefully create some value trades down the road.
And it also makes for the second, the Grand Archivist getting off the second Mind Control. There's a lot more weaker targets for it to play.
True enough. And no doubt Crovan probably thought about that himself by playing out those Fireflies. But the Lich King's going to come out to play and offer Ridiculous a card. Archivist gets a Mind Control.
Let's see what he takes.
And it took Firefly. Good pre-planning from Crovan.
He does get the best outcome.
And now Crovan in much of the same situation as Ridiculous, no removal available. So now he has to consider how is he going to trade through this Lich King.
He's just going to go for the double trade. And alright, he's going to go Chain Gang. And so he's just going to play out as many minions as he can. Call the Enchanted Raven. Keep pumping face. Hoping that one of these, I guess that's not too bad.
Yeah, it'll at least force a little bit of value trade there.
Games. I wonder, so this...
Another Lich King, my goodness.
That's a pretty good pickup from the Operative.
Wow.
Golden second Lich King.
Yeah, that could have...
And really a turnaround from Ridiculous that we thought Crow was way out ahead. But... yeah, this Grand Archivist, he's been pretty big. The Mind Control onto him, it's really swung this game now.
Yeah, Ridiculous had to do a little face tanking in order to create this board swing. He's down to 10 life now. Crovan, though, second Ultimate Infestation is live now that the hand's been cleared a little bit. This will allow him to at least remove that Lich King off the board and start to create a little bit more hand advantage in following turn. So we'll see, but this is a much weaker hand than last turn. I think Andy may have just lost his mic, so I'm going to keep talking until I hear him again. I think I hear him again. Still working on it. Free from Amber picking up a Molten Giant. 8-8 is not bad. That's basically impossible for Crovan to remove at this point.
Can you hear me?
You back with us, Andy?
Hello?
Yeah, there you are. All right, Crovan, once again, with a much smaller hand than he had last time. Lots of 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s here. Keliseth not going to do a whole lot. He's down to 3 cards in the deck.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry.
All right, there we go. So yeah, like Keliseth only going to hit 3 cards in the deck here, Andy. But what else is he going to do? This is not a very big hand. This is pretty light.
No, yeah, and unfortunately, that second Spiteful Summoner's not going to be able to do anything. I guess you just try to go as wide as possible. He does freeze the Molten Giant. Yeah, I guess you play the Raven as well.
Yeah, you may as well. I mean, we saw both Dustbreakers, so Crovan should feel comfortable laying out a wide board here to try to push in the last few points of damage.
Yeah, you see what can Ridiculous do to stop it?
More taunts, probably. He may be looking for if he has anything remaining in the way of I don't know if we've seen both Free from Ambers. He might try to pick up a taunt that way. We've already seen the Lich King. Ooh, look at this, a Doom Pact. Very, very chancy. Although most of those burn cards, it seems those are okay. I think he's okay with losing those cards.
Yeah, Acidic Swampu is not going to do much in this matchup for sure.
Cobalt Scalebait going onto the board naked. Crovan might have an opportunity here to reestablish board control and start putting this game away. Fireplume Phoenix go to the face.
Face, yeah. Go to the face.
Why
where
not?
You want to face is the place.
Yeah, he's so far ahead in the health count. He may as well continue to pressure that. That's the weak point right here for Ridiculous. So Crovan's got to keep pressuring.
If I was him, I would probably play the 2/3, go out as wide as possible. Play the 2/1/2 minions off of the Firefly here. But yeah, just try to be as sticky as possible. That Scalebane's only going to be able to kill one thing. You can try to outrace it.
Yeah, the Spiteful Summoner, just a 4/4 now that both infestations have been played. Skulking Geists also not really hitting anything, so a slightly weak minion, but with Ridiculous just at 12 health. Both of those, I think, are fine plays. I don't think Crovan's going to regret playing either of those for 6 mana.
Looks like we're going to see Talon Priest.
Get a little health return to the board, make those trades more difficult.
Is someone injured?
Although Ridiculous throwing out the well played. I don't know if that's a signal of defeat or victory. Oh, Malfurion finally coming into the hand for Crovan. So late in the game, though.
6/9, that's too short. But I mean, that's the play. You definitely go with the Malfurion. It's going to be 2 damage short, but you just need 1 damage to stick on the board. So 6 minions, you should be able to get that 1 extra damage that you need, or 2, 3, just 10, goes back up. Yeah, so you would need 1 damage on the board to win next turn.
Yep, and the Scarabs will prevent some value trades from Ridiculous, so he should be able to get at least 1 or 2 of these minions to stick around.
Yeah, so he would need another Dustbreaker, or some type of steel minion in order to prevent. Because there's a 5/2, so that's 5, that's 5, that's 2. So you would need. Oh, he's gonna trade.
Okay, Crovan protecting one of his Scarabs from being traded away by the 5 attack minion on the board. Figures if he doesn't have lethal now, let's just go ahead and protect the lead. So very close to lethal setup here for Crovan.
Yeah, he would need to be able to prevent. So he would need to take out both of these 2 minions, the 3/3 and the 2/3. It's gonna Spellbreaker. Is that gonna stop lethal though? 6. Yes. So that will keep him from getting lethal.
Ridiculous riding on the razor's edge here. Crovan down to his last card. It's the Lich King.
That's a pretty good card.
My
9/9
goodness.
Lich King.
And Crovan doesn't need much in the way of help from the Lich King to be able to close this out. A couple of
The
spells will
question,
do it.
yeah. I guess the question is, do you? I guess you have to trade, and you can. I mean, he's gonna go face. He's gonna put the pressure on. He only needs to keep up. He only needs 1 damage then, and he
That's what
gets
he
it. So
needed.
that will be lethal. I don't think that there's any way that Ridiculous. I guess Zizier needs to play a
Yeah.
taunt
He has
in
to
order
heal
to prevent
face.
a face taunt. Yeah.
And any taunt will save him for at least a turn, as long as it's not a 3 health taunt.
Yeah.
But if barring those things, looks like Crovan's going to take away this first game.
Let's see. What does Ridiculous have? Does he have anything that can save him?
The first bits of face damage finally coming into Crovan.
Nope,
2 Twilight Drakes aren't going to do it.
Yeah, the one card that he needed off of the Lich King, Death and Decay. Wow, that's a big win for Crovan. The other thing that he gets, the information that he gets, knowing that this deck plays a Ooze, is another key piece of information that Crovan has going into games with this priest. If he's tracking card hands, if he's looking at those things, he knows now to play against that type of card. That's to play around that card.
Yeah, that's those little tech decisions that get revealed in that first game, very important for kind of trying to get a read on your opponent's lineup strategy against you. So Crovan's definitely going to use that information to his advantage. We're going to be taking just a second to try to get the spectator bug worked out and get Ridiculous' side of the board spectated. But in the meantime, let's see. I'm going to see if we have the bands. Andy, has Will given you the bands yet?
Did we get them?
Doesn't look like it. The players jumped the gun a little bit on us as we were doing a little talkstone, because we were waiting for the bands, and they just went ahead and went for it. Yeah, looks like we have them in the notes. Let's go ahead and grab them. We have Crovan has his Warlock band. Ridiculous has the Paladin band, so we can at least update the match set with that. So what do the bands tell you, Andy, as far as lineup strategies here?
Typically Paladin bands mean that you're bringing, I think, so Crovan's Paladin is banned, or Ridiculous Paladin?
Ridiculous has the Paladin in his band.
So that probably means that we're gonna see, for the Druid. I know that Spiteful Druid hates playing against Paladins.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't do well because it doesn't clear boards very well, especially because he didn't play the double mind control attacks that we do see from those type of vans. All right, so I need Crovan. I need Ridiculous to accept me.
We same. that is the bug that we are awaiting a resolution on. Yeah, so we saw that work out too. The Paladin ban allowed Crovan to go ahead with the Druid and get the win on the Spiteful Druid. So that absolutely worked in his favor. And yeah, no surprise since the Paladin is being taken, that the Warlock was banned on the other side. But Paladin not going to get played anyway. So the ban kind of worked against itself in that respect a little bit.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, I typically expect just Warlock bans, just because Warlock is such a strong class, especially Q block is so hard to play against. It can beat just about anything if it gets the right cards and gets the right setup. Paladin, I think you're just more worried that your decks are not as good against aggro, especially if you're playing the Spiteful Priest. We still have yet to see what Crovan's Priest is.
Yeah.
If you're playing that Spiteful Priest, it's not as good against Paladin decks.
Yeah, and the Hunter take makes a little more sense with the Paladin ban as well. Hunter just as much not well able to handle those very wide boards from the aggressive paladins. But interesting. I can give a little bit of insight. I know Ridiculous really likes and favors control decks, so I wonder if that paladin was even an aggressive paladin at all. It may have been a Nazoth or even an OTK uh, paladin, which is entirely possible. So in that sense, that may not have worked out for Crovan as far as bans go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a definite surprise. I mean, throws your opponent off. They're not expecting that. But in the finals, you tend to not see players go that kind of a wild thing. They tend to you don't want to lose the finals because you tried to bring something like OTK Paladin. At the same time, I guess you become more of a legend if you win with OTK Paladin.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Go down in the annals of THL history.
Hey man, I won the final. I won my finals match for season 2 with a mech mage before mech, like long after mech mage was like out of the was out of rotation, and a the post nerf um Grim Patron Warrior. Which actually I
Oh
got down
man.
to like 2 health. If you want to watch this, it's a crazy game where I got down to like 2 health against like old school combo druid, and he got me down to 2 health, and I was able to like come back and regain all my health with Grim Patron Warrior.
Man, that is Patron Warrior, such a divisive deck back in the day. You were either really, really good at it or you were terrible at it. There was really no 50-50 with that deck.
Well,
Which
this
is
was like the post nerf, like this was
yeah.
post nerf version, which was much better against like more like zoos, like old school zoo and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it
Um,
just created those. They didn't have charge, but they created such huge wide boards that were difficult to manage. You couldn't trade them down with anything smaller than 3 attacks, so they were tricky to deal with.
yeah, especially for druids, and that's kind of what I was targeting against in that matchup. But those are like specific decks. We're still waiting on Ridiculous.
Yes,
Yeah, he doesn't like us. Doesn't like friends.
doesn't seem to be the case. It's entirely possible he's on the mobile client, and it may be difficult for him to kind of get all the friend requests worked out and the spectation invitation going. But we're gonna wait it out. We want to see the rest of this match, and the rest of the match looks like now that the Druid has gotten a win. Crovan remaining has the Hunter, which and the Priest, neither of which we know, and Ridiculous still has to win with that Spiteful, plus Mage and Warlock. So, with we know that Spiteful Priests and even combo Priests tend to do fairly well against Spiteful Priest Warlock setups, and maybe even depending on the Mage. But where does the Hunter still fit into this matchup? Do you think?
Um, well, the hunter, if it draws barns and you get a turn 3 or turn 4 Yasiraj, and your opponent can't deal with it, does pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh, Other than that, it doesn't do that great because if you have Dustbreaker, the hunter deck outside of that Yasiraj play, it goes for that. Oh, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of 3/3 wolves because I'm gonna play a bunch of secrets, and those all get killed by Dustbreaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I don't like that hunter deck too much. I wonder if that's the one that he plays. He could be going with something more secrety, but I would imagine it is going to be the Yasiraj hunter. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it can pull off wins. It's hunter. It gets
Right.
damage. If it gets damage on the board, kill command, top deck, and hero power for lethal can do it.
Yeah, and in fact, the one thing that I'm kind of thinking about in this matchup, um, if it is the Yashiraj variety of Hunter, and Ridiculous is playing something more control priests oriented, The one thing that Hunter deck is weak at is the fact that its only really big threat is Yasharaj itself. And if you run into single target removal like Shadow Word Death, then you're kind of dead in the water. You got to fight with just your cheap spells. But I think we are probably just going to continue on with the match. I think Will's going to give us the go-ahead to go with a one-sided spectation. So apologies to our viewers, but we want to get this match moving. So as soon as they get into the next match, we're just going to go from Crovan's side and spectate, comment on this as best we can.
Yes, if you know Ridiculous, well, I mean, we're on delay, but yeah, if anybody can talk to him, if he'll listen to anyone,
yeah, please
tell
let
him to
us
accept
spectate. All right, we're going to see the Hunter right now, looks like, against Ridiculous's Warlock. Well, I see a high main. That is not a Yasharaj version.
All right, so he's playing what? I guess
Ooh,
maybe it's just like a
Sword.
regular.
This is
Oh,
probably,
it's the recruit.
Yeah, this is the recruit package.
Yeah, okay, it's the recruit one.
So yeah, we're probably going to be seeing Secret Keeper. Probably going to be. Well, we do see the Cloaked Huntress there. Secret package, yeah, and then Kathrina will yank out. Oh, look at that Secret Keeper off the top for the turn 1 play, but he can't play it into that 2/2 Mistress of Mixtures. He's going to have to go with the tracking here.
Yeah, I would probably
my goodness,
suck to lose your King Crush, but he's gonna go for the Spellbreaker. Yeah, probably. Such an important card to get through those damn Void Lords. Ugh.
Yeah, he's respecting the possibility of the Void Lord later on. And I tell you, Andy, this is why I do not like tracking in these recruit decks, because you might discard your recruit win condition. King Crush just got discarded. Remember, tracking, you pick one and discard the rest. So, yeah, the deck just lost a lot of power. Crovan, though, going to go ahead with Cloaked Huntress here and try to get some power on the board.
Yeah, I guess go with that. The 3/4 is a little bit more consistent than going with the Animal Companion. If you pull Huffer, you're a little bit sad. The other choice is not as good. Flare,
not a bad tech. His opponent is running Mage, well, there's Huffer right on command. But the Cloaked Huntress gives the trade away to protect that Huffer, but still vulnerable to board clear here from Ridiculous.
Yeah, here comes the Hellfire.
Yep.
You almost expect them to have it.
Right.
And this is sort of problematic for Crovan because he doesn't have any secrets. And he's got both his Secret Keeper and his Wolves in his hand. And a turn where you just flare and hero power does not feel too good.
No, that's
especially on the turn.
That's going into turn 5 as well for a control Warlock. That's a dangerous place to not have any board presence. Crovan really needs to be on the offensive. Doomsayer going to prevent Crovan from any development on turn 5 here.
Yeah, and I wonder if that tends to tell us a little bit more that it is maybe the more classic Control Hunter Control Warlock versus the Cube Block. Cube Blocks tend not to play Doomsayers, but I guess I have seen some who do play Doomsayers, but not as many.
Crovan finally getting a secret into play with that freezing trap. That going to kick the Emerald Spellstone just a little bit, but Ridiculous looks like he's got the Dark Pact combo pulling out the Void Lord right away. Crovan now got some work to do.
He does. He's going to Spellbreaker. The benefit of that is that it cannot be faces manipulated for a second one. But he's just going to strain. This 4/3 is going to get eaten up. Well, the problem is
freezing trap's going to get
frozen.
In the way there. In fact,
that's true. It's going to make that 4/3 unplayable.
Yeah.
Unless he plays the Skull of Minari.
Yeah, that's right. And another second Doomsayer coming down for Ridiculous. Crovan, again, cannot develop into this board. He's going to have to resort to another option. I don't know that there's any situation where he would play Rexar in this matchup. He needs that hero power to continue pressuring the life total of Ridiculous. So the bow's going to get equipped and go face.
I think that Rexar, because you can get more silences off of Rexar,
True, true.
and you can get more like burst damage. He could also possibly get another King Crush type of minion off of it. So it's not bad. Yeah, so the Gnome Veratu is definitely going to tell us that this is just like non-Q block. This is the standard straight up control Warlock that will play things like it's going to have Nazoth. It's going to have what's the other? Rin.
Yep.
Like those are the cards that we're going to see in this type of
Yep.
deck.
And Kathrena came off the top right on time at turn 8, so Crovan able to immediately put 12 power on board with some very good death rattles. So Ridiculous is not going to be able to clear this easily, and we also haven't yet seen a skull. So that Void Lord that got bounced back from the freezing trap might be stuck in hand.
Well, this they don't always play Skull of Minari in this type because you don't have as many targets. You only have 2 demons. So at most, you're only going to ever be able to play 2 demons out of the Skull of Minari. The idea being that like you don't need it as much as the Q block because it needs the Skull of Minari to pull off, all of those cube combinations.
Between tracking and Gnome Feratu's, Crovan's deck power has just been whittled away. He's going to be working with a much shorter stack of in-game threats than he wants to be. But he finally pulls a Wandering Monster into hand to power up that Spellstone again. And Flanking Strike going to create another beast, do a little damage to the board, and he's going to try and pressure this life total.
Yeah, you want to build up the board as much as you can, but you also want your reloads because you know that they play, at least 1 Twisting Nether, if not 2 Twisting Nethers. And he is going to get more usage out of this bow.
Yep,
we wonder if Ridiculous also plays a Weapon Breaker in this deck as well.
That's a good question, but the fact that we've seen a more controlling style of Warlock, I would not put it past Ridiculous. He certainly got the spell slots available once you take out those Doom Guards. So, but that Void Lord did die, so it's going to come back off of Gul'dan, and Ridiculous now having the Lifesteal hero power. Tough looking in game here for Crovan.
Yeah, but he does have it. Ridiculous doesn't have a lot of cards. He's only got 4 cards in hand, so he plays Gul'dan without having a lot of resources. So if Crovan is able to get a board, stick a board, he could be able to push through. He's got some burst at the moment. I wonder if he goes for, what do you go for here? Do you Hero Power and Rexar? This might be a Rexar turn.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play it, this is probably Hero Power, and then you're gonna Rexar and then make a beast.
Yeah, with Ridiculous now having access to that life stealing hero power and Siphon Life, the Hunter hero power Steady Shot becomes a little less valuable. So yeah, now Crovan needs to start looking to play the value game, I think, and get that Build-A-Beast online.
Let's see what he gets with his first one. And he get an 8 mana, deal 2 damage to all minions, taunt, death rattle.
That's not bad. No beasts remaining in the deck from Kathrena because of the various cards that have burned cards from Crovan's deck. My goodness.
Yeah, those Gnome Veratus can be really painful. I wonder if this is a turn to see our Greater Emerald Stone.
Yeah, 4/3/3 Wolves is quite a bit of power. Going to force Ridiculous to have an answer. We've already seen 1 Hellfire Burns. He may end up also utilizing the bow to kill off the Gnome Feratu and prevent any Defile trickery from coming into play.
What do you go for here? Not really any outstanding choices.
Yeah, I just have to believe that he's going to go for things that make it difficult to clear and maybe creating value like this Zombeast, getting a 1-mana 4/3 in the deck, which only has 4 cards, so pretty good short-term value there. So yeah, Crovan's just going to have to try and outvalue a Control Warlock, which is a tough order.
Yeah.
Not a good roll on the Wandering Monster. Second Hellfire comes into play. Crovan's back to the drawing board on developing his board here. Another Freezing Trap.
It is kind of the advantage of this build a beast that you will be able to keep pumping minions out into the board.
Yep. King Mokla being offered. That's an interesting one.
The Corpse Widow is because that synergizes with both of the 2 cards in his hand.
But he goes with the Thunder Lizard, which is a little unusual. I wouldn't have expected that. But he did pick up Poisonous on the Adapt, so he's got to be enjoying that in case another Void Lord comes down.
Messes up the sequencing of his Secret Keeper there.
Oh yeah, he sure did. Yeah, this is a long game with a lot of strange lines, so Crovan didn't fully think that turn through.
For Ridiculous, this is basically he's trying to draw a N'Zoth. If he can grab his N'Zoth, that's going to be big. And yeah, it's going to get wiped out by the Defile here. Huge Defile.
Yeah, this Stonehill Defender, huge for Ridiculous, who's running out of cards. He needs more ways to protect the face to stay in this game in the long term.
And it's going to be able to draw two different Taunt Minions because it will be Freezing Trapped.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's going to get a second go at it. Both kill commands now in the hand for Crovan. If he can find a way to get Ridiculous down to 10, he's going to be able to do it. Picks up a Silence to bust through a Taunt or 2. And probably no other reason to take that beast there. Just the cheapest Silence he could get out of the combination.
Yeah, and we see that the miscue of the Secret Keeper, that's what caused him back on the previous play to lose to the Defile. If he would have buffed up that Secret Keeper, then, Ridiculous has to play a 2-health minion in order to get off that spell.
Which he may very well not have had. Blast Crystal Potion is an interesting tech. Oh, Tar Lurker's a great roll off of the Stonehill. That's going to be really tough for Crovan. But he does have that Silence in play. Second Secret Keeper in hand now, but I wonder if Crovan even has any secrets left.
I doubt it. I'd probably go for the Hatchling here. Just because I don't... Yeah, so we do see the Hatchling.
Yeah, good healthy minion at 6 health. The Adapt might get more, might get a Divine Shield. Some way to stick some damage on the board.
Yeah, I don't think there's no elementals in the deck, so the Stegodon one is not going to be able to. The 5-mana 4/5 is not going to get an Adapt off.
No,
he does go with the Zombeast. Or with the 4/7. They're all just called Zombeast. I forget that they have individual names.
It would be nice if they did. And also, the Stonehill died before triggering the Freezing Trap, so this Tar Lurker is actually going to get bounced back into the hand if he tries to trade here.
You would have probably imagined, I think, that we've seen... Oh, that's going to be game.
Both Void Lords coming into play, but look at this, though. Crovan does have 2 Silences available now.
Double Silence.
So all of Ridiculous
still has another Void. He still has another Void Lord, though. So if he doesn't have it in his hand, that Possessed Lackey's going to pull the other Void Lord out.
Isn't the other Void Lord 11 mana in Ridiculous's hand right now? Or no, it didn't. No, it didn't get bounced.
It back.
It died. Okay, yeah, you're right. So the other demon may still be in the deck for Ridiculous. Poisonous come in to do some damage.
Poisonous?
Okay, this will take out one of the Void Lords.
He's not using his silences to get through this.
Maybe just valuing them for lethal potential later. Another Poisonous Taunt coming down, so little more value created with these trades. But Ridiculous he's spent all of his recursion. Gul'dan is gone, N'Zoth is gone. So everything that Ridiculous can play or recruit from the deck now is all he has access to. So if Crovan can stick with it and stay in this game that long, he might actually still have a line to win this game. But Gul'dan's hero power is going to be doing a ton of work in this in-game situation, though, Andy.
Yeah, it's going to be such an uphill battle for him. He really is going to have to hope that these beasts carry him. And he's also got to deal with this board.
It's
getting
huge.
pretty big. And if this pulls out the other void, so
there
it's
it is.
Pull out the other void board.
With just 4 cards remaining, or 5 cards prior to the recruit, the Void Lord was still down there for Ridiculous. And that's it for Crovan. It's everything in hand, plus Build-A-Beast, to try and fight back this enormous board for Ridiculous. I don't know if he can do it, Andy. That's a huge hill to climb.
Yeah, once the Warlock, once he gets all of his 3/9s out, all of his Void Lords, how do you come back from that? So let's look in the counterpunch and the damage that he's got coming back at him is at least 14. Plus, let's see, 5, 7, 7, 9, 6. Yeah, so 14. Yeah, he just concedes.
Crovan just gives it up. So that's going to equalize
the only way
the
for
series.
him to stay alive in the game was to use his damage spells. But that's if you're using them to control the board, then you're not winning in that position. So, yeah, we see that control Warlock. Warlock is the strongest class right now, and just does its Warlock things, and when it wins,
Yeah.
If you have a window of maybe about those first 5 to 9, maybe about 8 turns, and if you can kill them before then, you have a good chance. But after those turns, once the N'Zoth came down, that was it. Like, there was not really much that Crovan could do. He had more silences, but he didn't have the board in order to push the damage that he needed. So,
yeah, and tracking plus the Gnome Feratu's doing so much damage to Crovan's in-game plans, he had to rely heavily on that Build-A-Beast, and there just wasn't enough time. Because even if you do silence all those Void Lords, there's still 3/9s on the board, and they're going to eventually catch up to you and run you over. So we are waiting the next game. They're considering which decks they want to queue. Ridiculous remaining with the Mage and the Priest. Crovan still has to get a win with that Hunter, and I think we still have yet to see Crovan's Priest, so we don't know what that is, and the Ridiculous's Mage still yet to be revealed.
Yeah, that Hunter might be a bit of a liability. It's against it can, if it can get out ahead against that Spiteful Priest, it can win. It can definitely win games against the Spiteful Priest, just because Spiteful Priest has no spells, so it doesn't really have a great way to fight back on the board. But that could be, that might be the liability that, when you bring a Hunter, that's, it's tough to get that win.
Yep, and
I wonder if they've dropped out of game, because Crovan...
I am getting messages from Ridiculous.
Yeah.
He may have a client bug, and depending on what that does, this may spell real trouble for Ridiculous, because if he has to get back into the client and that cancels the match screen, the challenge screen, then that may end up being a DQ basically for Ridiculous. Okay, but he's telling me he can invite me now, but I still have yet to see him online, so we're still waiting for that. Hopefully he's able to get back into the match screen, though, because we don't want to see this end on a DQ.
Yeah, that would be really bad. In the finals, to have to lose on a DQ to something like a bug, that would stink. Hopefully, yeah, he could come back here. I was just wondering what was going on, because we saw Crovan. I saw him in menu, so...
Ooh, that's
we'll
not
just have
good.
Yeah, so it looks like that they are out of the screen.
Yeah, because yeah, if oh, we're gonna have to talk to Will. All right, so let's make sure we do need to watch and make sure that he doesn't go into the collection screen, because that is the automatic DQ there. All right, he is restarting the client now, and we are awaiting his return to the challenge screen.
No, we trust that it's an honest mistake. I can't imagine that he was just personally ignoring us the whole time.
Yeah, I think he just had a bugged client, because several messages were sent. So yeah, okay. Now they're back in the challenge screen. So great. All right. So we should get the invite from Ridiculous any moment now, as soon as they head into their next match. So what is what does Ridiculous do here to collect his head? This has got to be quite flustering to have disconnection problems in the middle of a finals match.
Never good. He does win the game, so he is coming off a win. So you are in sort of a positive mind state in that regards.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're out of menu now.
Challenges of the technical variety abounding tonight. Poor Ridiculous, having a hard time getting this challenge restarted. I would hopefully this doesn't even just lead to mistakes, because I can see this really throwing you off your game and not being able to keep your head in it, when you're worried about, disconnections and not DQing and all that kind of shenanigans. So yeah, they're back in the challenge screen once again. Hopefully they'll get it going this time.
He still hasn't accepted my friend request.
No. And just to cover again, the series is tied 1-1. Oh, I just got disconnected. My Blizzard account has logged in somewhere else.
Oh, yikes.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to stay offline and check my authenticator, because that is sketch.
Trying to hack your account.
Apparently. I don't know who else could. I have an authenticator. I haven't gotten notified. I think Blizzard might be having some issues.
Potentially. I cannot type in game.
All right, we may have to pause briefly while we check and see if there's any kind of technical problems with the Hearthstone servers, because it sounds like everybody's having some trouble now.
Somebody get Ben Brode on the phone.
Whoa! Match just started. Here we go.
All right, we're back into it.
All right, well, we're at least in a match, so let's be thankful for that.
The light shall bring victory.
And it will be Mage Priest. Ridiculous. We finally see his mage now, so we will see all of his decks. And Crovan, he will be going to his priest, which is a Spiteful Summoner priest.
Yep, and I finally did get the invitation from Ridiculous. We can now see his hand, thankfully. I see Dragon Carler, Alana, Frostless Jaina. This is a big control mage, Andy. I love it.
Okay, I can't see his card,
Right.
So you're gonna have to tell me what he has.
Yeah. So Crovan does have a nice start here with double Historian and the Spiteful Summoner available on turn 6 when he wants it. Ridiculous threw away all of his cards in the mulligan. Is now holding a Raven Familiar, Jaina, Alana, Dragon's Fury, a Cold Light Oracle, and a Flame Strike.
So this matchup is really is difficult for Ridiculous to win in the long run, because the Spiteful Priest has so many threats, that especially so many big threats, that it can be really difficult for the big spell mage to pull off the victory. That's what I have, because I played a lot of big spell mage. I don't know if I like the Justbreaker pick there. I think you go with as many big threats as you want to in this matchup. But that's my experience from this, is that like being the Spiteful Priest, it's just so hard to being the big spell mage, it's so hard to keep up with them.
Yeah, and the mage does have at its disposal, at the very least, Polymorph and Meteor, which they do help with a few of the bigger minions that Spiteful can create, but those don't last forever, though.
Yeah, I mean, you have typically, even if you're playing double of those, the minions that he gets off of the Spiteful Summoner, the minions that he gets off of the Free from Ambers. If you play a big minion, it's going to get like any big minion that you play will be mind controlled. So your Alexera will be mind controlled, or sorry, Alexstrasza will be mind controlled.
Yeah.
Whatever you play is going to get mind controlled. The one real key to it is to try and get Frostless Jaina as quickly as possible. If you can do that, then you can try and go for like freezing, trying to make more minions. But there's not a lot of low mana or low cost minions in that deck. So if you can get a board full of 3/6s, then you can win. But it's really hard to just continually clear all of their threats.
Yeah, and I have to believe, too, that Dragoncaller Alana is going to be a big part of Ridiculous's long-term plan. It's the one huge power card that Crovan's deck has no way to deal with aside from like a double Dustbreaker, which he does have available. So Crovan may have to consider that possibility going into the endgame.
And he did get really lucky there because he rolled high on the Dragon's Fury.
Decent enough Spiteful Summoner with the 8/8.
Yeah, it gets the 8/8.
Sea Giants, of course. Ridiculous does get a freeze in hand. It's going to go ahead and expend that Polymorph now and slow down this offense from Crovan. Crovan, though, does have quite a bit of power available in his hand. Scalebane's going to play nicely into this board. So is the Northshire Cleric.
Is someone injured?
Yeah, he's going to go as wide as possible. And he is playing in the right order. I mean, you always put the weakest minions in the middle when you're playing against this type of mage.
Yeah, this protects those bigger minions from a Meteor Strike from Ridiculous, although Ridiculous has not yet drawn one. So he's going to be sticking to his either trying to draw cards with that Cold Light Oracle or utilizing maybe a freeze effect from the Blizzard to try and slow down the offense here. Unless he wants to Flame Strike and leave that Scalebane on board with 1 health, but I don't think, well, never mind, he's going to go for that.
Well, he will go for it, Going to try and clean it up. Curious Glimmerrot, probably the play here.
Yeah, probably wants to hold those Dustbreakers for that possible Alana play later. He's got to know here that Blizzard's take. Yep, he takes it.
Not super useful, though. Don't know. I guess it's going to help you if we see the Dragoncaller come down.
Yeah, and maybe to freeze some water elementals in a longer game situation. No potential targets for the Twilight Acolyte anytime soon, so he's just going to go ahead and swap stats with the Glimmer Root. Ridiculous drawing into Eater of Secrets, interestingly. Yeah, I guess that's in there for the Hunter. That's the only possible target for that. But Ridiculous is going to coin out Jaina now and get this Elemental chain rolling.
That's really important. Yeah, that's really the most important card in this matchup for Ridiculous, and it's how he wins. Here we will see the Blizzard being played, and it's probably the best usage of it. He's going to try to push face, gets 13 damage in. The problem is he doesn't really have much of a follow-up to this damage.
There's Isera's available, but that's not a lot of pressure though. Arcane Artificer are going to create some health gain via the Blizzard here for Ridiculous, and Ridiculous has not yet pulled an Ice Wall. so he's going to be trying to play this out with Stall and Water Elementals for healing. Lich King's not bad, though.
I wonder if you go... If this is the double Dustbreaker turn. Probably what I would actually do. You want to get rid of those elementals. Like, that's really probably the thing that you're most scared of in this matchup, is him getting too many of those elementals.
Yep. That's the play for sure. Ridiculous, though, picking up a Tar Creeper off the top. That's a great pickup because Crovan, if he doesn't have Silence, which he does, but he would have to trade through that Elemental, and all the while healing Ridiculous, since it now has that healing, the Lifesteal effect for Jaina. But
it still has the healing effect, even if you silence it.
True enough, but
So,
at least you can ignore it because it didn't have Taunt, though.
Yeah.
But Ridiculous going for the Lich King here.
And this is where Mind Control is such a big card. Like, this is what I was saying in this matchup. Whatever Crovan plays, whatever Ridiculous plays, that Mind Control is just gonna steal it. So he plays this 8/8. It's gonna get jacked by this Mind Control here. I can't imagine he would. That's another play. So it's like his biggest threat is taken. And now he's in a position where he's got to deal with it.
Ridiculous only holding on to the Polymorph is the only true answer to the Lich King, and he's going to play it now and probably create a Water Elemental behind it.
Yeah, it is good that he will be able to get this Water Elemental out, but I imagine that we will see...
Death and Decay may be part of this, the answer here. The Song Stealer can at least shut off the Taunt, or the Grand Archivist could really start creating a bigger board for Crovan.
You have seen both Polymorphs. Well, he's gonna go for the Arcanist.
Yeah.
This one do.
Yeah, you have seen both Polymorphs already. So I wonder if you go for... So it's gonna be free from Amber. See what he gets. Thin out this deck.
And Crovan, that's a nice one. Yeah, and Ridiculous, having expended both Polymorphs, does not have an answer in hand for that Deathwing Dragon Lord, which can pull Lucera out of the hand if it gets destroyed. So very chancy trying to answer that card for Ridiculous. But going to get another Elemental here and start healing his face up from 12. And this is... I've seen this played out a lot. This is very quickly going to get back to full health.
Yeah, especially with two of them up.
And Obliterate, destroying the Archivist, is going to trade some of that health.
Wait, I think that is... No, that's not lethal. Because he can't silence both of them.
Yeah, he would have to silence both the Tar Creeper and the Deathwing Dragon Lord in order to deliver the 12 damage plus the Death and Decay for 3.
Yeah, it's one silence off.
So he might just have to wait out a turn, and because I think Ridiculous has signaled that he doesn't have an answer for the 12-10 just yet.
And he's only got 4 cards, so yeah, his board, he's got the elementals, but like we said, this is where it gets to be really scary for this big spell priest, is that, yeah, you have the clears of all the low minions, but when your opponent is playing like an 8/8 and a 12/12, and you've used up both polymorphs, you have to hope that you draw your meteors.
Yeah, and Ridiculous takes a Fire Lens Portal off the top. Still no Meteor, but the Fire Lens Portal can at least do a little bit of damage to that Lich King and get traded down. But it's still a pretty dangerous game here, with no Ice Block having yet been found.
So, there's 12. Yeah, no, so it's not, because it's going to heal. Oh, I wonder if he's going to go for the freeze of it here. He's going to sacrifice this other... and try to freeze this 12/12?
Yeah, that is one of the roles of the Water Elementals in these in-game scenarios. Just using them as freezes to just stall out big minions you can't deal with, and they heal at the same time. Ridiculous, already back to 21 health. Oh, that's the that is the ooze, the green jelly that creates 1/2s every turn. Second Spiteful Summoner.
Which will pull a 10 mana minion out. And then Alexstrasza.
Ooh, what a steal off the death grip. Alexstrasza no longer available to Ridiculous. Spiteful Summoner is going to get the 10 mana, as you said, Andy. That's going to be Cthulhu's pretty weak as far as they go.
Not too good.
It's still 10, still
like
10
it's
damage
better.
and 10 attack.
I almost feel like the 8/8s are almost better. Like you want to get the 8 mana minions. I feel like there's more
Yeah.
consistency. Like you can get some 10 mana minions that are like Cthulhu or N'Zoth or Yogg-Saron, which are not as strong as like your 8 mana plays.
Mm-hmm. And, interestingly, Ridiculous has to deal with that green jelly so that the taunts stop getting made, but he does have that Death and Decay available from the Lich King.
Yeah, that's going to be really key. That both games, picking up that card in particular from his Lich King, those are huge. And he's going to make another dude, which means that he'll stop making his little 1/2s.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call. I think he wants to. The only answer he has to this big board from Crovan is to hopefully get that Doomsayer off. Which isn't quite going to save the day. The Song Stealer can be part of the answer here. Definitely K probably going to clear out some of this mess.
And it will put him down to 7.
7 damage, yeah. Healing is... That 3 healing every turn can only go so far. Ridiculous needs to be able to stall the game further. Still has not picked up a Meteor. I imagine he's probably going to drop one of these Cold Light Oracles to try and get the Meteor in play, to try and save this game. Or continue to stall.
Freeze.
Okay.
But... okay.
Oh, he's going to try and set up a board clear here, but both Ice Blocks are still in the deck, Andy. Oh, he gets the Meteor, though, so that is going to clear out 2 of the minions.
Yeah, he does get the freeze. He's stuck now. And what does he do? Oh, well, now he draws.
I'm really so. Oh, he didn't want to draw the cards prior to the Dragon's Fury. That's what it was. He wanted to try to guarantee as big a Dragon's Fury as possible, but the Raven Familiar's never winning those rolls against the Spiteful Priests. And Crovan, even though he has to go back to the drawing board here, he's got plenty of power still left in his hand.
Yeah, the Operative, you see what you can draw.
Ooh.
Kabbalist Tome.
Ridiculous is running a Kabbalist Tome. That is really interesting.
That is an odd card to play in this deck.
That is also really great information for Crovan. He's going to store that away for later use, almost certainly.
I would probably... I mean, he buffs up that. I don't know if that's the move that I would make, because I would probably play the other dragon. But, I mean, you keep as much power as you can on the board. The opponent has to deal with it. I don't see Ridiculous's hand, so he's going to draw. What can he draw?
Ridiculous finally picking up a Meteor. Does get an Ooze, though, which is not going to do anything, but a 3/2 in this game. Yeah, that Meteor is going to be a big, big part of this equation. But killing that Deathwing Dragon Lord...
It's just going to pull 8 power onto the board.
There's
so
quite a lot of power coming onto the board, actually.
Yeah, that's the
Ridiculous is going to give it up. I think he saw the writing on the wall. He knew there were probably more dragons in the hands. So that's going to give Crovan a 2-1 edge in the series. Crovan now only has to win with that Hunter, which could be the weak link for him.
Yeah, he needs that last win. It was a really good game. Like I said, that it's just a hard matchup for Big Spell Mage. You're trying to go down. You're going to dig through your entire deck, and eventually you're going to run out of answers for all of the giant minions that the Spiteful Priest has. And we saw it in that case. Like, he just ran out of... he finally drew 1 Meteor, but at that point, the board was already way too big. He used both of his Polymorphs really early, so it's just a hard matchup to win. And we will see the Hunter come out now. I mean, it's his last deck. He's got 2 tries to get wins with it, and he will go back to the Mage. So,
yep, and
we did see that Secret Eater. I don't think Crovan saw the Secret Eater though, but you saw. I didn't see it because it never got played.
Oh,
but-
that's true. Yeah, it has not had a chance to be played yet, and this is the situation where Ridiculous wants to be able to leverage that card. And Andy, I got to
He
tell you,
also had an ooze as well, I think
Yeah.
you'd said.
in fact, it's
Yeah.
in his hand now. Ridiculous's hand is a Raven Familiar, Blizzard, Ooze, an Acidic Swamp Ooze, Tar Creeper, and he just picked up Alexstrasza off the top. Ridiculous just going to play the Raven Familiar. and-
Dragon's Fury is going to be big.
That's
It's going to be
huge.
good.
And I tell you, I'm a fan of Spell Hunter, and this is a great hand for Crovan. If he can leverage this hand to really get some acceleration going, then this is going to be exactly what he wants for the early game. As long as he can start pressuring that health total before Ridiculous gets into his ice block, his freeze effects, this is a good start for Crovan. Although Ridiculous just picked up that Eater of Secrets. Oh my goodness.
It's going to ooze. Yeah, pretty good play. I wonder, I'm trying to, I guess, why go for the bow versus playing the Cloak
Versus the
Huntress?
I think
And
he
then
wanted
playing
to,
and trading?
I think he wanted to try and protect the Secret Keeper with the bow to
yeah.
kill off the Raven Familiar. But yeah, he gets it anyway. He's going to get to keep it, at least for one turn, with that Cloaked Huntress freezing trap.
Well, he's going to give back this. Not the best minion to give back, but I guess a 5-mana 3/2.
Or 4 mana.
But
yeah.
now you know that you have to whip out your bow charges as quickly as possible.
Yep, and Crovan looks like he's reaching for that Spellbreaker to bust through the taunt and just start pushing some damage. And Hunter's real good at this mid-game chip damage.
The only problem is that you Fury. And I guess you accept that, and so
Yeah,
you have the animal companion for the turn afterwards.
Yeah, Crovan playing
Spellbreaker.
He had some refill here. Misha's not bad, and another hero power. Just going to continue to. He just valued that 5 damage that much. He just wanted to get it moving. Ridiculous drawing now into a Doomsayer, which he reaches for. So another 7 damage that Crovan has to sink to keep this board alive.
Well,
Or-
no, he does have the Spellbreaker.
Oh, he does have the Spellbreaker,
So,
that's true.
yeah, so you will Spellbreaker that one off. Probably play another hero power, I would imagine. I would just keep playing hero powers, especially, this priest deck doesn't play, or this mage deck, other than the 1-mana 1/2 things that heal.
The Arcane Artificer.
That's right. I'm so bad with card names.
7 mana Flame Strike right off the top is going to clear Crovan's board, and he has no play available at the moment on turn 7. Oh my goodness, he's going to have to go for that
Does
tracking.
have the tracking.
Yeah.
Oh, you definly
Gotta take
You gotta
Katharina.
take Katharina. Yeah, you need her for next turn. So I guess it's just a double trap and hero power.
Yeah, double trap hero power. Ridiculous down to 12.
Well,
No-
he's not gonna hold. Doesn't play the freezing trap, and I don't blame him.
Doesn't want to give that
Getting a
boost back
3/2
again.
frozen back again. Yeah.
Ridiculous top
Artificer.
decks the Arcane Artificer to get 5 armor off this Kabbalist Tome. Very fortunate top deck.
Does he
And,
attack though? That's the question.
That's a good question. I don't think that Ridiculous has seen the explosive trap, but he reads it and does not go for it. But Katharina now available for Crovan. He might actually get another Charged Devilsaur off of this and be able to deliver 7 damage immediately. Or he'll do it that
No,
way.
he's just gonna take out the Artificer. And that's really a big key, because that's all the healing that the mage has outside of if he's playing Jaina. He's gonna eat that secret.
Yep. And the explosive trap is revealed. Frost Nova going to go ahead and shut down this offense for just a turn. Alana
Well,
having
these-
been drawn into the hand for Ridiculous.
Crovan, I guess you gotta play King Crush. It's 9 mana.
Yep.
You got to play King Crush.
This is the only turn where he is a perfect play for the mana. Otherwise, you're going to be floating. Oh, it's going for Katharina.
Katharina, disagree. Come on, you gotta do it.
And a high main is not a charger, so it's a huge board, but Big Mage is good at dealing with big boards. There's a Flame Strike still in hand for Ridiculous if he wants to leverage it, or even a Blizzard if he just wants to stall the board and start chipping away at Crovan's face.
Imagine that it's a Blizzard turn. You can't afford to eat damage from this position, especially that much damage. You need to freeze, which is why I would have gone. I think you got to play King Crush that turn. I think if
Yeah.
you're Crovan, it's the best turn to play him because next turn, if you're trying to maximize chip damage to your opponent's face, because that's what's going to win you the game over time, is continuing to hero power each turn.
Mm-hmm.
And missing a hero power to play Kathrena, I think, really hurts him.
Yeah, and just being able to continuously deal damage in chunks is really what Hunter excels at. That's how it wins this match. Does get the kill command off the top, but that was a counter spell that just went up for Ridiculous, I believe. It is. So
Wow,
that's
a surprising tech.
Yeah, it is, but it's pretty much exactly what he needs. Now, here's a question: does Crovan suss it out? No, he's gonna get that flanking strike eaten by the counterspell, but at least he has the kill. Oh, look at this! Crovan's playing the board now. I don't know. I mean, I guess he does have a big enough board to do damage next turn, but
yeah, I mean, you have minions up. He still has to deal with your board here.
Ridiculous drawing Frost Lich Jaina off the top. Although, does he have time to play her?
Can't really play it though.
Yeah.
You would feel really scared playing it.
Yeah, even
you
one
can't
value
leave
trade.
up 19 power up
Yeah.
on the board, 21 power coming back at you. So that means that your opponent only needs 1 damage.
The trade plus the Flame Strike is going to clear the board. Pull out the second high main.
Second high main. That's pretty good. So he's going to eat 6-9 damage. So that's 14 damage. So puts him to 3. So he's down to 3 health. I mean, you got to play King Crush,
Yeah,
right?
there's no other play but King Crush here.
He should have played him, but he should have played him 2 turns ago.
Yeah, it's just set
But
Ridiculous.
he didn't
to
play
3.
him. What?
Whoa!
What are you doing?
I'm a little taken aback, Andy. I don't know how to feel about this line. This is such a passive line. Maybe he's trying to get more chargers out of the Build-A-Beast, which I guess is... Oh, there's a Stone Tusk Boar, so that's probably what he was looking for.
Charging 3, but then you also miss hero power damage. Like, I don't.
Do not fear.
Well, I think
Jaina's
he
gonna
wins
come
anyway.
down.
So, no, because he wins anyway.
Who wield it?
Because that's exactly lethal.
Yeah, it is. 6.
With King Crush. Yeah.
Plus the
6
King
and 8.
Crush.
Yeah, that's 14. So yeah, Crovan holding the King Crush the whole time. The surprise King Crush lethal.
That was
Nobody
a very,
expects King Crush.
very risky play from Crovan, though, I gotta say. Never want to potentially give Big Mage time to be able to play an ice block, to be able to freeze the board again. Very dicey from Crovan, but you know what, Andy? It worked. Crovan
He does.
takes
He pulls it
3-1.
out. Yeah, that Hunter deck, it does, and it was able to, Big Mage on the turn that he thought he could play Frostlick Jaina safely. That was the one turn that the King Crush came out. But yeah, he was able to just kind of keep leveraging the board and keep getting that chip damage in. And, like I said, that little chip damage every turn, that's what really is the key to winning the game if you're that Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely right. So with that 3-1 win, Crovan brings Team Synergy ahead in this series, 4 points to 1. And Spicy Boys have 4 matches to play to start catching up to that small deficit. But 3 points is a big deal. That's basically a match that gets neutralized.
Yeah, and a bit of an upset there by Crovan. I mean, he takes out the undefeated player.
Yeah, true.
And Ridiculous, his first loss of the season coming in the finals. Never where you want to get your first loss.
And not on stream either.
No, not on stream, although I couldn't see any of his cards. So.
But at least the audience did get to see the cards for the second half of the match. But yeah, like I wonder how much all of the disconnect problems and the client bugs factored into Ridiculous's mindset in those last couple of games. Do you think there were any externalities to the stress induced by all those issues?
No, I don't really see. I don't necessarily know did we see any misplays? I mean, maybe I didn't see his hand on the last turn. If there was a way that he could have played around that damage,
Mm-hmm.
other than playing, did he have like another play besides Frostless Jaina that he could have made?
It probably was his highest percentage line at that point. But yeah, it's without having. I mean, the only other thing he could have done is maybe drawn to try to. He had a Cold Light Oracle, so maybe try to draw into an Ice Block, draw into another freeze. But I didn't see an Ice Block in that Mage deck at all. Maybe he was just running double Frost Nova, double Blizzard to try and stall the game.
Yeah, we did see a lot more tech cards. I mean, we did even also see the Arcane Tome.
That's right.
The Tome. That's a very weird card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it's another 5-mana play that helps out Dragon Caller Orlando, but
right.
that's such a weird card. I mean,
and I guess maybe you can chalk that up to looking forward to Control Mirrors. Long games against Control Warlocks and Control Priests. Those extra 3 cards can be a big deal. And yeah, like you said, it synergizes with like the Raven Familiar, with the Dragon's Fury and all that.
And this is a good example of, he brought very heavy techs.
Mm-hmm.
Like he brought his Secret Eater, he brought his Weapon Breaker, and even in that game, he played both of them, and it still really didn't help him win that much. And I think that's sort of an idea, is to say like he's taking out what cards is he leaving out to put in those tech cards that he's even drawing in them and playing them in the position to get the most advantage out of them, but he's not actually winning the game by them.
True
so
enough.
That's something to think about when people are heavily teching their decks like that. In these matchups, like, yeah, okay, so the Secret Eater of Secrets is good against the Hunter, but even when you're playing it, it's still not winning you the game. What card are you taking out that could be potentially better than that Secret Eater? Like,
yeah.
That's just one thing to think about.
Yeah, might have even taken out the Ice Block that I kept calling for. And then again, maybe Ridiculous, being such a tech-heavy person, may have expected Eater of Secrets to be in the decks and took out the Ice Blocks just to, throw him off the scent.
Well, we did see the...
the Counterspell.
We did see Counterspell is another one that was really odd. He plays a Counterspell. We didn't see... I was playing in my big spell mage. I was playing only Ice Blocks, but I was playing one Arcanologist. In the event that, like, if I needed that, if I needed the Ice Block, play the Arcanologist. It's going to draw you the Ice Block out to make sure that you have that Ice Block in hand. But yeah, he did have some very interesting choice cards that, not necessarily lost him the game, but, you take those cards out and you're removing something else. And what are you removing?
Yep.
But, great play by Crovan. We said that the liability in his lineup was that Hunter, and it was able to get a win against the big spell mage, which I guess ended up being more the liability for Ridiculous.
Yeah, 2 games lost with that mage, and we have coming up on Saturday. Ironfire also has mage in his lineup, so we're gonna see, and also the rest of the classes need to be submitted for the 3 players on both teams.
Get those classes in.
We want to see what's up. But Ironfire, at the very least, for Spicy Boys, is also going to be trying to get a W with the M, and getting Jaina on the board. But for tonight, this is it, Andy. This is the only match during the week. Everything else is going to be Saturday and Sunday. Please follow the channel on Twitch and follow the league on Twitter so that you know when those matches are going up, because This is going to be in a very exciting series to determine the winner, the champion of Ragnaros, the Conquest League Season 8 for Team Hearth League. Andy, last thoughts on the match and on the series?
Last thoughts. Just great plays just from Crovan. I think he made good reads, although I think we disagreed with the his timing of playing King Crush. Still
Sure.
paid out. He got
Yeah.
that surprise 8 burst damage. Worked out for him very well. So yeah, great dub on him. Congrats to Synergy. They're the underdog, so I'm pulling for them. They're red division, which was the counter to my blue division. But yeah, I'm pulling for them to pull the upset here over.
Spicy Boys.
Spicy Boys.
I'll throw my hat in the ring with him as well. I like anybody that can put together a hunter deck, and I am a fan of the recruit deck. So yeah, Team's Energy X going to give it to him. We'll see. But stay tuned for the rest of those matches for myself and my great co-caster Andy Rogers, and for Will doing all the hard work in the background. Good night, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thanks. All right. Good luck. Peace out, everybody.